and hi everyone. In today's topic, I will be explaining about Chapter 12, Foundations of Organization Structure. And in today's topic, I will be concentrating on explaining about the common organizational frameworks, structures, and models. Organizational designs are known by many names and are constantly evolving in response to changes in the way work is done. We will start with the three of the more common organizational frameworks, namely the simple structure, the bureaucracy, and the matrix structure. So let's start with the simple structure. The simple structure has a low degree of departmentalization, wide spans of control, authority centralized in a single person, and little formalization. It is a flat organization and usually has only 2 or 3 vertical levels, a loose body of employees, and 1 individual with decision-making authority. Most companies start as a simple structure, and many innovative technology-based firms with short lifespans, like a cell phone app development firms, remain compact by design. The strength of the simple structure lies in its simplicity. It's fast, flexible, and inexpensive to operate, and the accountability is clear. One major weakness is that it becomes increasingly inadequate as an organization grows because its low formalization and high centralization tend to create information overload at the top. Also, it's very risky because everything depends on one person. Here we have Exhibit 15.4, which shows an organization chart for a retail men's store owned and managed by Jack Go. Jack employs 5 full-time salespeople, a cashier, and extra workers for weekends and holidays, but he runs the show. Though this is typical for a small business, in times of crisis, large companies often simplify their structures as a means of focusing their resources. Next, we have the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is characterized by highly routine operating tasks achieved through specialization, strictly formalized rules and regulations, tasks grouped into units, centralized authority, also narrow spans of control and decision-making that follows the chain of command. Bureaucracy incorporates all the strongest degree of departmentalizations described earlier. There are 2 aspects of bureaucracies that we should explore, and they are functional and divisional structures. The functional structure groups employees by their similar specialties, roles, or tasks, while divisional structure is an organizational structure that groups employees into units by product, service, customer, or geographical market area. Bureaucracy has its own advantage, especially in terms of the ability to perform standardized activities in a highly efficient manner. Putting like specialties together in units results in economies of scale, minimum duplication of people and equipment, and a common language employees all share. However, it also has some weaknesses. The bureaucratic specialization can create conflicts in which the unit perspectives override the overall goals of the organization. Another weakness is obsessive concern with following the rules. When cases don't precisely fit the rules, there is no room for modification. The bureaucracy is efficient only as long as employees confront familiar problems with program decision rules. We also have matrix structures, which combines the functional and product structures. We can find this type of structures in companies such as advertising agencies, R&D laboratories, construction companies, hospitals, and even universities. The most obvious structural characteristics of the matrix structure is that it breaks the unity of command concept. Employees in the matrix have 2 bosses, which are their functional department managers and their product managers. The strength of the matrix structure is its ability to facilitate coordination when the organization has a number of complex and interdependent activities. Direct and frequent contacts between different specialties in the matrix can let information spread through the organization and more quickly reach the people who need it. The major disadvantages of the matrix lie in the confusion it creates, its tendency to foster power struggles, and the stress it places on individuals. So here in Exhibit 15.5, you can see an example of a matrix structure for a College of Business Administration. The academic departments of accounting, decision and information systems, marketing and so forth are functional units. Overlaid on them are specific programs such as undergraduate, master's, PhD and so on, which can be regarded as the product group. Thus, members in the matrix structure have a dual chain of command to their functional department and to their product groups. So, a professor of accounting teaching an undergraduate course may report to the director of an undergraduate programs as well as to the chairperson of the accounting department. So in the ever-increasing trend toward flatter structures, many organizations have been developing new options with fewer layers of hierarchy and more emphasis on opening the boundaries of the organization. In this section, I'll describe three such designs, which include the virtual structure, the team structure, and the circular structure. First, let us start with the virtual structure. This is a small core organization that outsources major business functions. This structural form allows each project in the company to be staffed with the talent best suited to its demands, rather than just with people employed by the company. It minimizes bureaucratic overhead because there is no lasting organization to maintain. And it also lessens long-term risks and their costs because a team will be assembled for a finite period and then will be disbanded. The major advantage of the virtual structure is its flexibility, which allows individuals with an innovative idea and little money to successfully compete against larger and more established organizations. The structure also saves a great deal of money by eliminating permanent offices and hierarchical roles. However, the drawbacks have become increasingly clear as popularity has grown. Virtual organizations are in a state of perpetual flux and reorganizations, which means roles, goals, and responsibilities are unclear, setting the stage for political behavior. Exhibit 15.6 here shows a virtual structure in which management outsources all the primary functions of the business. The core of the organization is a small group of executives whose job is to oversee directly any activities done in-house and to coordinate relationships with organizations that manufacture, distribute, and perform other crucial functions. The dotted lines represent the relationships typically maintained under contracts. In essence, managers in virtual structures spend most of their time coordinating and controlling external relations. Next, we have the team structure, which seeks to eliminate the chain of command and replace departments with empowered teams. This structure removes vertical and horizontal boundaries, in addition to breaking down external barriers between the company and its customers as well as suppliers. By removing vertical boundaries, management flattens the hierarchy and minimizes status and rank. When fully operational, the team structure may also break down geographic barriers. Some organizations create teams incorporating their employees and their customers or suppliers. For example, to ensure important product parts are reliably made to accepting specifications by its suppliers, Honeywell International Company partners some of its engineers with managers at those suppliers. So next we have the circular structure, an organizational structure in which executives are at the center, spreading their vision outward in rings grouped by functions, include managers, and then specialists, and then workers. The circular structure has intuitive appeal for creative entrepreneurs and small innovative firms. However, as in many of the current hybrid approaches, Employees are apt to be unclear about whom they report to and who is running the show. We are still likely to see the popularity of the circular structure spread. The concept, however, may have intuitive appeal for spreading a vision of CSR, for instance. This is an example of a circular structure, and a flat hierarchy like this tries to reduce the number of levels in the chain of command to a very minimum. So this enables cooperation between CEO, managers, and subordinates at eye level. We have the leaner organization. The goal of some organizational structure is to improve agility by creating a lean, focused, and flexible organization. Downsizing is a systematic effort to make an organization leaner by closing locations, reducing staff, or selling off business units that don't add value. Downsizing doesn't necessarily mean physically shrinking the size of the office, although that's been happening too. Some companies focus on lean management techniques to reduce bureaucracy and speed decision making. Starbucks adopted lean initiatives in 2009, which encompassed all levels of management and also focused on faster barista techniques and manufacturing processes. To make sure downsizing can be implemented successfully in organizations, here are some effective strategies for downsizing. First is invest. Companies that downsize to focus on core competencies are more effective when they invest in high involvement work practices. And second is communicate. When employees make efforts to discuss downsizing with employees early, employees are less worried about their outcomes and feel the company is taking their perspective into account. Third is participate. Employees worry less if they can participate in the process in some way. Voluntary early retirement programs or severance packages can help achieve leanness without layoffs. And finally is assist. Severance, extended healthcare benefits, and job search assistance demonstrate a company cares about its employees and honors their contributions. So in short, companies that make themselves lean can be more agile, efficient and productive, but only if they make cuts carefully and help employees through the process.